Hello, my fellow flawless, limitless, sexy, sassy, saucy HBICs. How are you on this lovely morning, afternoon, or evening? How are you all? I hope you're all doing fabulous. I hope you're all choosing to be the versions of self that have exactly what you want, because you're the only thing that can decide who you are and what you want and what you can have. Just you. So I hope that's what you're choosing. Yeah. If you're new here, how you doing? I'm Kimberly, and I am obsessed with getting what I want and manifestation. And if that interests you, well, I hope you will think about subscribing and coming back and seeing me. And please let me know that you subscribed, because YouTube doesn't always tell me. They just increase the number. They don't always say who. And I like to meet my new friends. I want to have that interaction. You know what I'm saying? So let me quickly go through some basic bits. If you need help figuring out what's going on between you and your manifestation, please feel free to email me at manifestingwithkimberly@gmail.com. All of my coaching options are in the drop box below. They're in the screens that just went by. I have 3 channel memberships. I tend to mostly talk about my VIP, the Advanced Manifestors channel membership. If you are an advanced manifester, if you choose that group, you will have access to all 3 of the channel memberships. We go live together on Tuesdays at 8 p.m.-ish Eastern Standard Time. This is the group where we are deep diving manifestation, learning all different perspectives so our understanding deepens, and therefore we don't shit ourselves over what's going on in reality. And we get to know and trust that we're going to have exactly what we want, because we already have it. But this is the group to deepen that knowledge. The more knowledge, the more expansion in our awareness. You know what I'm saying? That group, again, like I said, has access to all the other channel memberships. There's the exclusive lives channel membership, where we go live together on Tuesdays at 9:30 p.m.-ish Eastern Standard Time. That is a zhuzh-only group. We only talk about success stories and tips and tricks. We have the Friday group, which is the hot seat group. We go live together 9 a.m.-ish Eastern Standard Time on Fridays. And that group, that's a group you can get into the hot seat and ask me anything you want regarding your own manifestation, your circumstances, manifestation in general. That's the group to come to ask me the questions. That group does come with a trigger warning if you get triggered by other people's circumstances. You might want to think about that before we hop into that one. The VIP group, the Advanced Manifestors, they also are the only group that has access to all of the channel membership recordings. I could barely get that word out. The replays, the recordings, they're under the playlists, categorized by channel membership, but they're the group that has access to all. The hot seat, you do have access to your hot seat replays, though. Just saying. But again, they get it all. That's why I'm calling it that VIP Advanced Manifestors. And here's another little thing that I always forget to mention, but if you are a channel member, and that means from any of the 3 channel memberships, if you are a channel member, you automatically get 20% off your coaching. Just in case you want coaching with me and you'd like that 20% discount, that comes with the channel memberships. And obviously, if you reach out to me for coaching, you need to let me know you're a channel member so I can verify that. Just saying, right? Okay. Again, regular coaching, there's a deep ass list. It's a long list. I'm just saying, I'm being honest. You're waiting for a little bit. You're waiting to get in for regular coaching, going as fast as I can, moving people through. Again, I offer coaching packages, so we're scheduling those as well. However, we are going digital soon. I know, I feel like I am the last one to that game. We're going digital soon, so you'll be able to do whatever you need to do on a damn website, not emailing me. I cannot wait for that. So I don't have to, hey Kim, I emailed you on such and such date and I haven't heard anything back. I know you haven't, my friend. I know you haven't. And I feel bad. I do. I'm going as fast as I can. I'm not going to give that spiel anymore. But just that reminder, channel members, 20% off. I'm going to stop selling myself and we are going to jump in. First of all, can I just say, today has been the most glorious day. I love coaching days like today. I love it. Every single coaching call that I have had this morning, and I've been up since the crack of dawn, it feels like. I start coaching sessions early, and we are back to back most of the time. And I can comfortably tell you that literally every single call today has been a success. Literally a success. And if it's not the full-blown manifestation, it's immensely wonderful, surreal, huge movement. Yes, it's all been specific person manifestations today. And yes, I don't mean movement like, oh, hey, yeah, I got a text, which that's movement. And I'm not poo-pooing it. I'm just saying I know secretly everybody wants real movement where they're seeing specific person, they're interacting with specific person, they're hearing all of the things that they've been deciding for themselves. That's been the day today. HBICs are killing it out there. I'm so proud of each and every one of you, but they're all getting movement. They're all getting and as well as full-blown relationships. They're happening. It's happening. And why is it happening? Okay, this is where most people would take all the credit, like, because they're listening to me. It is because they're listening to me, but however, they're doing the work. They need to be taking the credit for themselves. It's their minds doing it, but it's my reality. So from my perspective, you're in my reality and you're listening to me. I'm just saying, outside of that, guys, you want to know what the common theme is amongst all of the people getting movement? They're making decisions. They're choosing a version of themselves and they're sticking with it. They're choosing their own salvation. Yeah, that's not a word we talk about a lot. But by salvation, I mean, you are God. You are the infinite. You are that I am. I am that I am. You are living a human experience, but it's God. It's consciousness. It's who you are. What you're experiencing is what you believe about yourself. It's what you are choosing to be aware of. And I want to tell you that all the people that I've talked to today, okay, all of them came from a place of struggling with 3D, right? They came to me struggling with 3D, not seeing the movement they wanted, not hearing all the loving, fulfilling words and actions from their person. Because that's what they were aware of. That's what they were choosing for themselves, not deliberately. And this is definitely not about blaming and shaming them. But they all chose to accept and take accountability of where their mind has dominantly been. And they then made the conscious decision to start being aware of being the versions of themselves that is receiving loving, fulfilling, committed relationship with their person, or they are receiving love, unconditional, surreal, amazing, beautiful love from their specific people. And it's happening. And they're getting the texts. They're getting the dates. They're getting, I've always wanted you. I've always wanted to be with you. I do want this with you. They're getting that. They're spending time with their person. Their person is choosing to do things to make them happy, not to make SP. I'm saying SP is taking actions to make them, the HBIC, happy. Happy. And it's not because they manipulated 3D reality. It's not because they tried to force things to happen in 3D. It's because they took their hands out. They took the hands off of 3D and made a damn decision over who they were going to be, who they were identifying as. Now, did it always feel easy peasy? No. But they believed me when I say It's okay to have a bad day. It's okay. It's okay that scary thoughts are coming in your mind. We can blame the devil for the thoughts if you want, if that feels good. But thoughts are just thoughts, and thoughts can be there. Thoughts are options to other realities or to other versions of you. They're little vehicles. They're nothing more than that. And you don't have to be afraid of them anymore. They heeded that advice. And they also started really being aware of where their mind goes. And we even had an example today of they could honestly see the shift in their specific person was a direct match for this shift in themselves in either direction. But they were realizing, this is the beauty of this, is they were realizing, they were reflecting what I was aware of. So for example, one of the Hbics had their awareness on not necessarily being chosen, not being a priority. So they took my advice, started being aware of being the version of themselves that is a damn priority. That is their person's number one choice. They are receiving love. They can accept love. They can believe that this person is in love with them just because it's them. They can do that. They can have that. They gave themselves permission. What did they experience? A complete turnaround in how their specific person is showing up. Then they also noticed thoughts coming in that weren't necessarily favorable. And here is the thing. This was the theme in all the calls today. This just wasn't one call. This wasn't two people. This was all of my morning and early afternoon calls today. The common theme, I could see SP was a direct reflection of what I was being aware of or what thoughts I was giving into. So if it was a habit for them to believe that they weren't chosen, they weren't a priority, those thoughts came in. And even though they were experiencing surreal, wonderful things from their specific person, they noticed those thoughts creeping in, and every single one of them initially entertained those thoughts, believed it. They could feel the body responding, that feeling, bracing for impact, worrying that, boom, oh no, here I go with these thoughts. What if it's too good to be true that the SP has totally turned around? And for a day or two, each one of them entertained that. But then remembered, what am I doing? I know this is a habit of my old self. I'm going to choose new self anyway. And what happened? SP flipped around again. So what they noticed when they were entertaining, believing, taking in the negative, it felt like SP was a little distant. Just distant. Just not texting as much, not interacting as much. And initially, they responded to 3D by no other thing than, I don't think I like this. Here we go. This is exactly what I was afraid of, blah, blah, blah. But then they remembered. And then they what? They reminded themselves of who they are choosing to be. And guess what? SP flipped around and became attentive, loving again. You see, your reality is your reflection. Heaven and hell is here now. If you want to look at it as it's in the 3D now, heaven and hell, fine. But how you perceive your reality is letting you know what area you're in, heaven or hell. If you're perceiving reality as it's not here yet, then it's not here yet. Then it's not here yet. And I do want to say that, listen, we consider movement when we're noticing the change within too. If we're noticing that we're calm, we're not as triggered and worked up over 3D circumstances, honey, that's growth too. That's movement too. That's evolvement too. The whole point of this video is reality is just what you are aware of it being. And by that, I mean what you specifically decide it is. So if you're labeling it as unfavorable and not working, then that's the reality you're in. You're in control. It is your choice what reality you're in. Remember, manifestation is breaking the habit of relying on 3D validation to give you permission to claim that you are your new self. No, that's ass backwards. We're getting out of that habit, right? So when I mean it's ass backwards, I mean relying on validation from 3D. That's what I meant. I feel like I just worded that wrong. But you're building the new habit of you are your own validation. You are deciding it's working. You are deciding that you are the evidence, the validation that 3D is absolutely changing right in front of you, becoming the reality you want it to be. And again, I say it in every video. Back up, Kim. And again, I say it in every video. Doesn't matter if you say becoming. That's good enough. That's okay. It's not keeping it out in the future, unless you believe it is. They all made decisions. What decision are you making? How are you perceiving reality? Let me share a little nugget from Mr. Ernest Holmes. As the fall of man was brought about through his own act, so the rise of man will be accomplished through his own act. God already is. Salvation is not a thing, but a way. The way of salvation is through the realization of man's unity with the whole. Grace is the givingness of the Spirit to its creation, and is not a special law, but is a specialized one. In other words, grace is, but we need to recognize it. It is not something that God imposed upon us, but is the logical result of the correct acceptance of life and of a correct relationship to the Spirit. We are saved by grace to the extent that we believe in, accept, and seek to embody the law of good. For the law of good is ever a law of liberty and never one of limitation. Limitation is not a thing, but is a belief. I hope you're all hearing that. Limitation is a belief. Freedom is a divine reality, while limitation is an illusion, a false belief. Salvation is an act of man, not an act of God. Man damned himself, and man must save himself if he ever is saved. He will save himself to the exact degree that he stops damning himself. He will live in heaven when he stops living in hell. He will be healed when he stops being sick. He will become rich just as soon as he stops being poor. Life will become as God when he stops masquerading as the devil. That's a good one. He will be happy when he stops being miserable. He will be at peace when he stops becoming confused. He will be filled with joy when he stops thinking sadness. He will live when he stops dying. He will be perfect when he stops looking upon imperfection. And he will be saved when he stops damning himself. He will be one when he stops being two. Man, 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 man. The great thou I and the great I thou. Kimming all that down for you. You notice what words you didn't hear. You didn't hear Mr. Holmes saying, you will be living in heaven when you get enough 3D evidence that you're out of hell. No, you choose it for yourself. now, despite what is in 3D. Man will be rich when he stops being poor. For any of you manifesting money, I bet a chunk of you instantly went to the place, well, I'm not choosing to be poor. I have a negative bank account, or I only got $20 left in my account. I'm not choosing to be poor. This is what I have. No, you're still identifying as being poor. You will stop being poor when you start being rich. You start being rich. You start having the money when you stop identifying with your circumstances, when you stop waiting for evidence that you are rich in the physical 3D. You choose it for yourself now. Right now. All we ever have is that present moment. We don't rely on the 3D. You rely on the I am. You rely on the I am. The I am. And you are the I am. I am the I am. I am that I am. You are it now. So if you want to free yourself from whatever circumstances you're experiencing that you're not loving, if you want to manifest your specific person, money, health, you give it to yourself right now. You claim it for yourself right now. You bring your awareness eyeballs over to the version of you that has what you want. We break free from the habit of waiting for the evidence to show up first. That's you still being your old self, period. And you are in complete control of the who you are now. Okay? So on that note, I could be telling the same amazing story about you right now in this moment, you who's watching this. I can be celebrating you manifesting your desires. Use me as a visual. Have an inner conversation with me so that I can tell you in your inner conversation how fucking proud I am of you. You did it. You're there. You're in that right reality. You chose the right version of yourself. And by right version, I just mean the you that has the desire. Because I could be telling the story about you in one of my next videos. You see what I'm saying? Choose that for yourself now. Because you do already have that which you're manifesting. You do. Manifesting. You do. All timelines exist now. Right now. Stop waiting. No matter how you want to logically say, but it's not here yet. You're waiting for the evidence. You're the evidence. You're the validation. So who are you? And on that note, I'll see you tomorrow.